on, guys? Well, today I want to talk about this RUGER Cordite Compact. It's branded RUGER. It's a RUGER knife, but it's made by CRKT. All right, as you can see on the blade here, RUGER on one side, all right, CRKT on the other. The Cordite Compact. Let that focus. All right, it's definitely an interesting knife. However, I only carried this knife for 3 days, and I kept it in its original configuration here because there's definitely alterations and things I want to do to this knife, but I want to show you and talk about it exactly how I carried it, exactly how you would get it. Now, of course, once you get the thing, you can do whatever you want with it, right? Once you own it, you can chop this up and take that off and do this and that. And towards the later at the end of the video, I'm actually going to cut this wrap off because I want to see what it's like and what it feels like without the wrap. But yeah, I don't even know where to start. The knife, I like the knife. I like the knife design. I do not like the sheath, okay? And also, this lanyard bead, all right? Look at this thing. I absolutely love the lanyard bead, but I don't want it on this knife. It's way too heavy. This is exactly how you got it, okay? So if you get one of these, you buy a CRKT / RUGER Cordite Compact. This is exactly how you're gonna get it. The only difference is you're also gonna get a belt clip, which I don't have right now. I actually lost it. I don't know where it is because when I got this knife, I fully intended to use it as a neck knife and not use the belt mounted clip. However, I did put it on when I first got it just to give a quick, quick peek at what that would be like, and I didn't like the belt clip either. So I don't like the belt clip or the belt carry option, mainly because there's too much space here, so it moves around on the belt way too much. But that's what these mounting points are, so you can carry it left or right-handed. And basically just screws down into there, and then at the end it's like a spring clip, and the end has like a little hook, and it kind of fits in this slot here. But it's just too long. So even if you have like a fatter military style belt, or police belt, or gun belt for that matter, it still moves around way too much. So I popped it on, said, yeah, that's no good, popped it off, and honestly, I just lost the thing. So I did carry this as a neck knife, but even as in a neck carry, in the configuration that you get it, I still didn't like it, the sheath anyway. So a couple issues. Number one, this is how you get it with this, paracord adjustable piece here. And they give you a lot of length, which is nice, so you can cut it and customize it to your neck. This actually right here is where I carry it because I like it kind of higher on the chest. I don't want it hanging down by my stomach or anything. I want it on the actual chest. Now, normally I would cut these tags off, right, and burn the ends so that it can't push through. Because the very first issue I had when I got this, I mean, literally out of the box, put it on, said, oh, cool, went to take the knife out, and if you notice, there's like an angle here for your thumb, but you can't use it to help pull the knife out. Does that make sense? A lot of times there's like a thumb press, so you can use this pressure against the sheath, which helps assist in taking the knife out of the sheath. But this angle is way too shallow, so you get no grip on it. You can't push easily on here. I actually use the very ends, and even then, a lot of times it doesn't even work, okay? So you can't use the sheath to assist. I know a lot of people are used to, whether it's a little neck knife or, even a big fixed blade, going to take it out. As far as neck knives, some people just rip them out, okay? But again, it doesn't work with this particular setup because if you just tug on this thing, it just slides this piece, that's all. So look, let's say this is my finger represents the back of my neck. Back of my neck certainly fatter than my finger, but let's say I want to just tug the knife out, right? So I'm just holding the knife here, I'm just gonna tug. See what happens? It's sliding this whole piece. That's all that's gonna happen. So like I said, had I been not doing a knife review and I just wanted to carry this how I wanted to carry it, I would cut it right here. I would still use this piece. The piece, there's nothing wrong with the piece, but I would cut the cords at the length that I want, burn the ends so they, you get that little glob or ball of melted paracord so it cannot pull through. Then once you do that and this doesn't slide, then if you need to, yeah, you can yank that out of the sheath, right? But again, the exact setup that you get here, it's not capable of doing that. Now, it is worth noting that this is not on accident, it's on purpose, it's kind of a safety thing. All right, and a lot of people who do carry, there's not a lot of people that carry neck knives, believe it or not. I know, shocking, right? I get a lot of criticism for carrying a neck knife. People say, oh, it's dumb, and you shouldn't do that. And I've had people have told me that it's useless. There's no reason to have that. I can get to my neck knife, I can get it out faster than pretty much any knife that you guys have on you, okay? Unless you have a fixed blade on the waist and your arms are down, you can literally lift your arm up and grab it as you're lifting up. And I know there's people out there thinking, oh, I can definitely get it faster. It's quick, okay? It's quicker than most. I'm not gonna say all, right? There's always an exception. But my neck knife, and I've talked to multiple people, and I've had this discussion with multiple people in person, and they say, oh, I carry a knife, and they'll be like, oh, what's that? Oh, you carry a knife, that's cool too, I carry a knife, and they'll say like, oh, why do you carry a neck knife? I said, well, it's convenient, it's right there, it's fast. When I'm sitting in my vehicle, you know, my knife that's in my pocket, it's a little bit harder to get to. I just, boom, it's right there, right? From any sitting position. That's one of the advantages I like about a neck knife, but I mean, you know, it's not a video specifically on neck knives here, but just for the sake of argument, they're easy to get to and they're very convenient to carry. But the one criticism, the reason I bring it up is because people say, well, when you have paracord on a neck knife, you can choke, it can get hooked on something, or, you know, if you're fighting someone, they can grab the whole thing. Even if they don't take the knife out and stab you with it, they grab the whole thing and they could choke you and swing you around. No, they won't. It's such a extreme scenario. It's kind of like saying don't go out in the rain or thunderstorm because you might get hit by lightning. We all still go out when there's thunder and lightning out there. Maybe we're not hanging around holding a big metal pole. You know, we're being a little bit cautious, just like when I carry my neck knife, I'm cautious as well. And God forbid I get into some kind of confrontation with someone, I may or may not take off my neck knife. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't been an issue. It probably never will be an issue. I carry multiple knives on me besides my neck knife. I always have a gun on me. So as far as that particular extremely rare situation where I get into a physical altercation with someone and they want to choke me with my paracord and, you know, it won't break off the neck easily, or I'm going somewhere, I'm just not really fearful of choking to death from my you know, paracord on my neck knife. If that's a concern for you, I would suggest not using paracord, maybe the ball and chain, which again, it just kind of depends on what neck knife it is, whatever it comes with from the factory. Some come with paracord, some come with a ball and chain necklace. The ball and chain breaks. It doesn't take that much pressure to break that. So if you have a fear or a worry or concern of using paracord around your neck because of choking hazards or fighting hazards, go with the ball and chain necklace. That's all. Very simple. You can find them on eBay, you know, $2, whatever, or cheaper. You can buy it. Usually they're in lots. You know, you get like 50 of them for whatever. But yeah. So that, if that's an issue for you, that's something worth mentioning. Yeah, not an issue for me. So like, when I'm done with this video and this review's over and stuff, I'll probably end up removing this piece here and just doing my normal. I tie it off on both ends so it has an adjustable. So I can just move it on the chest. It's nice and simple and easy. And that's how I happen to prefer it. But I want to keep it in this position so you guys would see, you know, how you would get it. So the other thing here is it just has such a large profile because of this extra section on the sheath. When I talk about neck knives and neck carry, I want the sheath to be pretty much as small as possible, right? It's on your chest. It's not that it's not noticeable. I'm not worried about people noticing it. Everyone notices my neck knives, whether it's tiny or huge or whatever. It's just unnecessary material if you're not carrying it on the belt. It's nice to have the options, but again, because of the clip style being too big, and just because I wouldn't prefer to carry this on the belt, I don't like this. So in this particular design, I'm actually going to, when this video is over, I'm going to cut right here and right there, okay? So the sheath will literally just come straight across, right? Just sand it down. So this whole piece up top here will be removed and it'll look like this, okay? There is a little drainage hole, as you can see, at the tip of the blade there in case you happen to put it away wet or something. You know, it should allow air to come in and out and moisture to leave. But obviously, if you're carrying this as a neck knife, it's going to be in this upright position anyway, and any kind of water is going to come down and drip out where the handle is. If you carry it on the belt, that's where, you know, you would have the drainage hole. It would be a functional drainage hole. But besides the sheath, because I do obviously have issues with the sheath, the knife itself is actually pretty cool. I like the design. It's actually really comfortable. It is a hollow ground Wharncliffe blade. All right, this one is in 8CR14 MOV. 2.5 inches on our blade length, 3.5 inches for our handle, makes an even 6 inches overall. It's got a black stonewash finish. You know, it's a cute little warnie, you know, if you can say that, if knives are cute. It's a nice little knife. I actually like the knife a lot. Again, this is the original setup. I don't like this massive tag on here and the huge lanyard, okay? Or the lanyard bead, rather. Now, let's talk about this lanyard bead. The lanyard bead, I absolutely love. If you can't tell, if you're not a gun person, that is just a cylinder for a revolver, okay? That's where the ammunition goes in your revolver. Now, it's a very detailed, very heavy, very large lanyard bead. This knife costs 32 bucks. It's pretty much the going rate everywhere. You find them on Amazon for 32, Blade HQ has them for 32, some other knife dealers have them for 32. It's just, I want to say it's around 30 bucks, but it's pretty much $31.95 or $31.99 pretty much everywhere. So I'm going to say it's 32 bucks. For $32, there'd be people who just buy this knife for the lanyard bead. Okay, a lanyard bead of this heft and size and detail can sell for 100 bucks. And I think that's crazy. Who would ever buy a lanyard bead for 100 bucks? A lot of guys. Maybe not your average knife person, but there's certainly a little niche of people out there that buy, you know, custom lanyard beads for $100, $150, you know, the all titanium ones and just different designs. It's a market. It is its own little niche, or, you know, whatever, but it's not for everyone. You're certainly not going to go into Walmart, buy a knife for $20 and put a $150 lanyard bead on it. The guys who are buying those lanyard beads and collecting them, they probably have $600, $700 knives, you know, that they're putting them on. However, going back to my original conversation about the lanyard bead is that even if you didn't like this knife, there's a lot of people that might love this lanyard bead enough where they'll say, all right, yeah, I'll buy the knife for 30 bucks. I'll throw that in the junk drawer or whatever, or throw it in the tackle box, and hey, I got a cool lanyard bead for 30 bucks. So just the lanyard bead alone could sell for $30 or $32. All right, so the knife is essentially free for some people. I don't like this lanyard bead on this knife, and I definitely don't put lanyard beads on my neck knives because I do want them to be pretty light. I don't want them to be that heavy. And this is a heavy, I don't know the exact weight on the lanyard bead itself because my batteries died in my my little scale, my digital scale, but it's hefty. Okay, it's definitely adding to the weight of this knife. Plus, it's just not necessary. This long, if you wanted to carry this in the factory configuration here, you know, you could slip your whole hand through here, all right, and then grab your neck knife and pull it out. That's, I guess, one option if you wanted to, and you can snug that bead up against your hand, all right, so it's nice and tight. I doubt it. I don't think anyone's really doing that. Just saying that's an option. Maybe that's where the thought came in while you have such a long tag. But having the extra large sheath and then this thing hanging down here and, you know, the heavy lanyard bead, which, believe it or not, this lanyard bead kept the knife from swinging a little bit. Obviously, as you're moving around, when I bend over and stuff, it's going all over the place, and it kind of stabilized a little bit, but I don't think that justifies having this on there. So actually, at this point right now, I'm going to cut this off because I want to see what it looks like underneath this. And by the way, if you can't tell, it is wrapped by a you know, army camo pattern paracord here, which again is pretty cool. I don't want all this hanging off. I would cut it here if I wanted to keep the wrap on. I'd cut it here, melt it together, and just call it a day. So anyway, it's a cool little knife. I do like the knife. I just don't like the sheath, so that's why I stopped carrying it so soon. I don't like the whole setup. But instead of altering it and continuing to carry it, I just wanted to put it aside and wait to do this video so you guys can hear my my opinions as it comes to you, right? That's what's important. I can modify things to make it work for me, but you may not be able to do the same thing at home, or you may have a different preference. So I like to use things, you know, in the factory setup. So if you happen to get one, you know what to expect, right? But anyway, that's pretty much it. 3.5 ounces on this, but again, with that lanyard bead, this lanyard bead, if I had to guess, this probably weighs 2 or 3 ounces. I'm not even kidding. The knife, like if I go like this, the knife is just, it feels just a little heavier than the lanyard bead. It's a pretty hefty, solid metal bead. All right, you can see the little lightning holes there for the rounds aren't super deep or anything. Look at the detail there, though. There's even a little shelf. So if you had little, I don't know what caliber would fit in there, but maybe something would fit in there. It's just cool. I don't know. But yeah, so let's cut this off. Today's EDC happens to be the Blade Runner Systems Nano Dashi. I'm gonna do a video on this in the future. But I'm gonna cut this off right now. Take that bead off because I do love the bead. I just don't want it on this particular setup. So, whoops. All right, let's take the bead off. I realize I have to cut this twice. And then we're gonna take the wrap off here. And we're gonna see what this looks like underneath. All right, so yeah, here's the bead. Here's a better look at this. It's hefty, man. I'm gonna say at least, at the very least, 1.5 to 2 ounces. It's chunky. It's a very cool bead. I do love it. I will save it. I will definitely use it for something, but not this knife, and not any neck knife in general. So Let's unravel this thing. Cue the crappy music. I'm not going to put any music in right now because a lot of times you guys don't like it. And I can't blame you. Usually it sucks. Copyright free music is not always good. In fact, it's rarely ever good. Alright. I know you're thinking, Jeff, can't you just edit this out? I could. I probably won't. Why? I don't know. This paracord's still good, by the way. To save this, use this piece for something. And as you can see, it's easy to rewrap if you wanted to rewrap in a different color. That's certainly an option. And I would probably match this too. Like they use this, just as an off note, they use this cool camo pattern for the handle. Why wouldn't you give me camo pattern for my lanyard, for the actual, sheath paracord? Right? I think that'd be cool. It's a consistent theme. Or if you could use black there, just make this black, right? Not everyone's into the woodland camo here. Just curious how this thing's gonna feel, because it feels great with the wrap. Okay, really feels nice. All right. So here we go. Here's the knife without the wrap. Actually, it still feels really good. It's not as squishy and grippy, but these edges are not sharp or anything. Okay, so even without the wrap, it feels nice. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lanyard off. I'm going to cut, again, here and here, so this whole top portion's missing, right? I'll sand it down so it's nice, no sharpness or anything. And that'll be the new Cordite. Okay, that's how I'll carry it in the future. I still will carry this occasionally, throw it in the old collection, eventually maybe trade off or something. So that pretty much sums it up. I mean, for $32, some of you out there will buy it just for the bead, and then you have a free knife. But for other people, if you happen to be handy with Kydex, if you make your own Kydex sheaths, maybe you just mold your own sheath, low profile, something simple, and call it a day. Do your own wrap if you want, change the color up or whatever. The knife itself, decent. It's a decent little knife for 30 bucks, right? But it's just this particular setup. I don't think a lot of people would be, really happy with it. And again, if you're going belt mounted, you would probably want to figure out your, something different than what comes with it, because the clip that comes with it it leaves too much room for play. You definitely don't want a knife on the belt moving around. It's just it's not good. So overall, it's not great. It's not something I would recommend, honestly. There's too many great knife designs out there. Even CRKT, I mean, they offer the minimalist. The minimalist is a much better option for a neck knife. The spew, of course, the spew has an extremely fine point. This is having this Warncliffe blade. It's a little bit more sturdy, a little more robust for some of the harder use stuff. But yeah, even within CRKT, they have better neck knife options, and they also have better belt knife options as well. So this one just kind of a thumbs down on this overall, and it's a shame because the knife itself is pretty cool. It's just everything else, all these other factors, just lead me into kind of a headache situation. You shouldn't have to buy a knife and like modify it right out of the box. You know what I mean? It should be good to go, and then if you like modifying things, that should be something cool for later. But if you have to do certain things in order to carry it comfortably or really enjoy your knife, it's really just kind of a thumbs down. So not a fan of the Cordite Compact. But that being said, still a fan of CRKT and their Ruger line. Most of their knives I really like. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. And again, if you happen to have this knife, let me know your experiences with it, things you like about it, things you don't like about it. Love to hear your opinions. But that's all. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Take care.